Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We take great pleasure in presenting the Warner Brothers recording stars, the exciting Mary Kaye Trio.
Crazy. Every time I think of you, I go crazy. Never knowing what to do, what to say, where to go, what to say. I don't know what to do.
What to do, what to say, what to do, what to say, what to do, what to say, what to do, what to say.
Go to my head, and you linger like a haunting refrain, and I find it spinning round in my brain, like the bubbles in a glass of champagne. You go to my head, like a sip of sparkling burgundy brew, and I find the very mention of you, like the kicker in a julep or two. The thrill of the thought that you might give a thought to my feet casts a spell over me. Yet I say to myself, get a hold of yourself, can you see it never can be? You go to my head with a smile that makes the temperature rise, like the summer with 1,000 Julys. You intoxicate my soul with your eyes. Though I'm certain that this heart of mine hasn't a ghost of a chance in this crazy romance. You go to my head. You go to my head. You go to my
The sky is blue,
high above,
oh, the moon is new,
and so is love.
this eager heart of mine is singing. Hey, lover,
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 you better shape up. You came at last,
ooh, love had its blast.
that day is past.
You've left me gassed. This aching heart of mine is singing.
Hey, lover,
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 you better shape up. I remember every little thing you used to do. Ah, so lonely. Every road I walked along with you.
no wonder I'm so lonely.
Hey, the sky is blue,
The night is cold,
the moon is new,
but love is old. And while I'm waiting here, this heart of mine is singing.
hey, lover,
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 lover, lover, lover, lover, lover, lover.
I remember every little thing you used to do. Oh, I'm so lonely. Every road I walk along with you. No wonder I'm so lonely. The sky's blue,
The night is cold,
the moon is blue, but love is old. And while I'm waiting here, this heart of mine is singing.
hey, lover,
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 you better shape up.
lover, 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 come back to me.
The great Mary Kaye Trio, Mary Kaye, her brother Norman, and Frank Ross. We are heading on a road down the way to celebrate the life and music of the Mary Kaye Trio. And I'm joined in the studio this morning with Les Block. Good morning, Les.
Good morning, David. And I got to say this, Good Morning World, because William B. Williams used to open every show with Good Morning World, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
Well, we are worldwide, you know. We're
I know.
We're on the web, so If William B. Williams would have had technology like that when he was on the radio so many years ago, he truly would have been around the world. Well, again, I want to welcome you this morning to talk about Mary Kaye and the trio and to play some music and maybe let people know exactly who this great group of musicians were. Norman's still around, of course, but...
Yes, Norman is Mary's brother. Interesting group. Mary and Norman are the children of a very famous vaudevillian that came to the United States in the early 1900s with Duke Kahanamoku, who was a major Olympic surfer, and Hawaiian music became very popular in those days. This was way before Arthur Godfrey brought the ukulele to popularity, and Johnny Ukulele was what the name of their father, and Mary and Norman are the only people I knew, or know, I guess. I still know Norman. He's still alive at 84, living in Las Vegas, who are descendants of a royal family. And Mary and Norman are the son and daughter of Johnny Ukulele, or Johnny Ka'aiue, who is the son of Prince Kuhio, who is the brother of Queen Liliuokalani. Liliuokalani, who was the last reigning monarch of Hawaii.
Way too many vowels in the Hawaiian language. But we are here to talk about maybe things a little earlier. We're going to play some of the Mary Kaye Trio from their Hawaiian album, Our Hawaii, here this morning, so you get a chance to hear their renditions of some Hawaiian songs and some they wrote.
I'm looking forward to that. In fact, in 1961, when I first met them, I met them in Hawaii. I was in the Air Force at the time, stationed at Hickam Air Force Base, the base that the Japanese took apart at the beginning of World War II, rather. And they were in town with their daddy, who had not been in Hawaii for 50 years, Johnny Ukulele, who had come to the States to play with Duke Kahanamoku and stayed, and went back for a visit in 1961, and the kids went with him. And they played one of the clubs on the base I was at. They were in town to do the Hawaiian Village. They were playing the Hawaiian Village, which is a big hotel, the first big hotel on the coast there at the Waikiki. And so I met them at the Non-Commissioned Officers Club, and they did this incredible concert that blew everybody away. And I had been fans of theirs for many, many years. And it was, and through the years, I'd always been interested in them. And then they sort of dropped from view. The trio, the original trio in 1966 disbanded, and Mary continued on for a while, but it was never the same, and they sort of dropped out of sight. And today, I find that very few people have even heard of them, which is why I'm so pleased to be able to be here with you to do this. And the fact that you even knew who they were is great. Maybe you're the only person in the Twin Cities who knows who these people are. Yeah, I had read an article in the Twin City Jazz Society, which is a newsletter, and somebody had written an article which talked about Louis Prima, Keely Smith, and Sam Butera and the Witnesses as the first lounge act in Las Vegas. And I knew that wasn't the case, because it was the Mary Kaye Trio that was the first, that started it all, changed Las Vegas forever. And I got really angry. I said, why do they say Louis Prima? He didn't do this. It wasn't Julian Keely. So I called the editor up and I said, that's wrong. And she said, well, you write an article about Mary Kaye. And so that's what I did, and that's the one you got. Yeah.
Well, we were going to go on to do one from the live album, but I thought since we're talking about Hawaii and their music and their tradition in the family, I thought maybe why don't we go ahead and do one from our Hawaii? And we can do a little something called Akaka Falls.
Oh, I love it. That bring back some great memories of my 2 years over there.
Here are the Mary Kaye Trio from Hawaii.
in old Hawaii, in old Hawaii, where a lover's dream comes true. With this magic beauty all around us, how could I help but fall in love, my love with you?
Malini kui ke ana kahivai lele a o akaka. With this magic beauty all around us, how could I help but fall in love, my love with you? How could I help but fall in love, my love with you?
The world is dreary all around me, nothing but the blues surround me.
Loneliness is mine and I
Can't get out of this mood, can't get over this feeling, can't get out of this mood. Last night your lips were too appealing.
The thrill should have been all gone by today in the usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of.
Can't get out of this dream. What a fool to dream of you.
Wasn't part of my scheme to sigh and tell you that I love you. But I'm saying it, I'm playing it dumb.
Can't get out of this mood. Heartbreak, here I come. Heartache spreads a welcome mat, says come in, take off your hat. In this mood I'm willing to concede.
I'm so lonely.
And so I must face my fate. Happiness is mine too late. Where are you to fill this longing need?
The thrill should have been all gone by today in the usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of. Can't get out of this dream. What a fool to dream of you. Wasn't part of my scheme to sigh and tell you that I love you. But I'm saying it, I'm playing it dumb. Can't get out of this mood. Heartbreak, here I
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shout it right from the treetops, no doubt about it. I'm in love, in love, in love. Bells ring, it's got that something. I'm sure of one thing. I'm in love, flying. I feel like flying. I keep trying to reach the star that hides you. Angel, please don't forsake me. Fly down and take me. I'm in love. Shout it, ooh, shout it. I said shout it. I'm in love. Bells ring, hear those bells ring. Ooh, something. I'm in love.
Live in the Sunset Strip, the Mary Kaye Trio. I'm here this morning with Les Block. We are talking about the Mary Kaye Trio, about Mary Kaye, and she passed away just about a month ago or so. And we wanted to make sure that our listeners out there are aware of such great talent. Les, did we never did find out which club they were at on this Sunset Strip album?
They played most of them. The Crescendo, I think that may have been done at the Crescendo.
Okay.
But it doesn't say. It just says live on the Sunset Strip.
Sure.
And it doesn't say on the album where it was. I could ask Norman.
Well,
When
we
I talked
could
to him
ask-
after this. But he sends his regards to you. He's really happy about having this show today, and he wishes all you Minnesotans a great
Well,
day. He was here. He was telling me that he remembers playing the St. Paul Hotel here many years ago.
oh, okay.
Came through in the 50s, but he doesn't remember the date. He
Sure.
said, I just remember the name of the hotel. And I called the St. Paul Hotel up and asked them if they have any records of people who played there before, and they have nothing. They said, well, we were closed for years before they opened up
Yeah.
again. And
Wow.
I couldn't find out when he was here, but it was there.
I think we're going to go on to play a little something from the solo album that Mary Kaye did, and a song written by
The great Mel Torme, who was a big fan of Mary's, as was everybody else in the business who used to come into that lounge, including Sinatra and Sammy Davis. And I know Norman was telling me a story the other day saying that Sammy Davis was playing bongos, sitting in with the group on the same night that he drove to L.A. and was in that auto accident.
Oh, really?
So he went from the bongo playing with Mary Kaye Trio into the car, which I'm sure had nothing to do with one to the other. But
Sure. Well, on when we played "Can't Get Out of This Mood" from the Too Much. There's an album called Too Much. Any way you look at it, they're just too much. The Mary Kaye Trio, and the liner notes on the back of this is written by Donald O'Connor. And when you were talking about people being in the audience back in the early days of Las Vegas, Donald O'Connor says wherever the trio play, you'll surely find the audience liberally sprinkled with well-known stars: Judy Garland, Jerry Lewis, Eve Arden, Phil Silvers, Rosemary Clooney. The list goes on. Dean Martin, Doris Day. And he was talking about an introduction that Betty Hutton, the late Betty Hutton, who just passed away here not that long ago either, as well, when they were at Ciro's in Hollywood, and she introduced them as, here is the Mary Kaye Trio, the most fabulous and exciting performers in the country.
not an overstatement, by the way. It really is true, and I can attest to that personally. And unfortunately, there's not even one CD out of theirs now.
You're right. You're saying that nothing has been reissued.
These vinyls I've saved. You've collected some. They're around in some used record stores. And Jaime's is one place that I picked up a couple of things, but nobody's ever put them out on CD, which would mean getting the masters and investing some money into that. And
They were on a number of labels, and Warner Brothers,
20th Century,
Decca. Yeah, we'll play the 45 from the Decca label. Well, we're going to play again. Let's get back to the song written by Mel Torme, "A Stranger in Town." Here is the Mary Kaye Trio.
No, it's actually Mary alone.
Oh, that's right. This is the solo
Mary
one.
alone.
That's right.
Just arrived on the 710. Thought I'd see the old gang again. But you know how they come and go. I'm just a stranger in town. Everyone I see seems to wonder who I can be. And I swear no one seems to care about the stranger in town. I saw a cottage on a lonely old street. The weeds had grown round the gate. Somehow I thought that you would wait there, my sweet, but it looks like I'm too late. Guess I'll leave on the 12:02. I can't believe that there's no more you. Is there nothing here for me? Will I always be a stranger in my own hometown? I saw a cottage on a lonely old street, the weeds have growing round the gate. Somehow I thought that you would wait there, my sweet, but it looks like I'm too late. Guess I'll leave on the 12:02. Can't believe that there's no more you. Is there nothing here for me? Will I always be a stranger in my own hometown?
Up a lazy river by the old mill run. That lazy, lazy river in the noonday sun. Oh, linger in the shade of a kind old tree.
Throw away your troubles, dream a dream with me.
Up a lazy river where the robin's song awakes a bright new morning. We can loaf along. Blue skies up above, everyone's in love. Oh, up a lazy river, how happy we will be. Oh, up a lazy river with me. Oh, baby, up a lazy river by the old mill run. That lazy, lazy river in the noonday sun. Oh, linger in the shade of a kind old tree. That will throw away your troubles, baby, dream a dream with me. Oh, up a lazy river where the robin's song awakes a bright new morning. We can loaf along. Blue skies up above, everyone's in love. Oh, up a lazy river, how happy we will be. Oh, up a lazy river with me. Up a lazy river by the old mill run. That lazy, lazy river in the noonday sun. Linger in the shade of the kind old tree.
Throw away your troubles,
Baby, dream a dream with me. Up a lazy river by the robin's song awakes a bright new morning. We can loaf along. Blue skies up above, everyone's in love. Oh, up a lazy river, how happy we will be. Oh, up a lazy river with me.
The trio, back to the trio. We started off hearing Mary by herself on her solo singing on Stranger in Town.
Wow, couldn't she sing? David.
Yes.
I mean, she could have done that. That's as good as it ever got in those days, or has ever gotten since then. And I wish I could have asked her about whether or not she didn't seek a solo career, or whether the trio was doing so well, or whatever the reason was that she never did more of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like you said, you had a chance to speak with her, but she was ill at the time when you.
Yeah, when I was writing this article about them for this Twin City Jazz Society thing, to say that they were the first, not Louis Prima and Keely Smith, to do the lounge thing in Vegas. I called Mary up. I just cold called her in Las Vegas. She was listed in the book, and I called her and I started talking to her a little bit about doing this article. And she said, I'm really not feeling well these days. Why don't you talk to I suggest you call. And she gave me the name of Norman. That's how I got to talk to Norman all these years. And he's doing quite well. So the lounge thing was interesting because they used to play the main room. There was a hotel called the Last Frontier in Las Vegas, which was the second hotel built on the Strip, the Las Vegas Strip. The first was the El Rancho Vegas. And they only had main rooms in those days. And the evenings were after midnight, Vegas went to sleep. And the story of how it actually happened is rather mystical, because you get 20 versions of it. But somehow or other, somebody decided that let's try something in the wee hours of the morning. Let's extend the main room into something else. And Mary, apparently, as the story goes, coined the term lounge. She was the one who came up and called it a lounge instead of a bar. And they built this stage with the lounge within the hotel, and put a stage up. And after a couple of weeks, she had been playing the large room, the main room, and they had another guy coming in to follow her. Sure. And he was then known as a song and dance man. And it would be interesting if any of your listeners can come up with the guy's name who followed them into the room. But he was coming in, so they decided to try an experiment in the lounge, and they built the lounge. And as I say, Mary gave it the name, and they opened up the lounge. And the first week, according to stories I've heard, was that Frank Sinatra was coming in every night with his group, and they lost $120,000 in the first week. And the guys in Vegas got the clue that there are people out there who want to come in the wee small hours to do. Sure. To lose money, and that's where the lounges came from. And then a year later, the Casbah Lounge opened up at the Sahara Hotel, and that's when they brought in Louis Prima.
Okay.
So he was second, and Mary was the first.
I think, in listening to the trio, and especially with Frank Ross gets going on his little shtick that he does, that's kind of Louis Prima-like in a sense. You get that kind of wild, this Louis Prima Sam Butera kind of interaction. And
yeah, Louis Prima they called the wildest act in Vegas, actually. I think the difference between Mary's act and Louis' is Louis was not as hip as Mary's. Mary's was really modern jazz focused, bop focused. Okay. And Louis was old New Orleans focused and used a lot of shuffle beat rhythm in his act. And it was a little more corny, and Mary's act was really hip. So they both were wild and crazy. And, Frank Ross in the thing he was the craziest of them. They'd be running around the room. And everybody was hysterical there when you saw them.
We'll be playing some more things off the live album. That'll give you a good indication of what Frank Ross was like, and that kind of interaction between Mary and Norman. So you can imagine if you just thinking of people in the lounge and wacky kind of little comedy stuff. But
and I love Louis Prima. I'd love to go see him at the Sahara, but the reality is, I think Mary's act was a better act. And I think Mary's act was the best act to ever play Las Vegas, and maybe one of the best acts ever to play anywhere.
Well, this is a good indication this morning from the music that we can play from the Mary Kaye Trio. And when you were talking about getting albums before, since nothing is on compact disc, I want to thank a couple of people. You have some albums and some music that you brought in, of course, and Tom Novak, good friend who supplied me with, or Mick Novak supplied me with the Jackpot album, and Glenn Leslie, one of our programmers, who had a couple of albums that they loaned out so that we could hear more of the music. And one of those, one of the albums that you had, Nightlife, I think I want to play something off of that, the first cut. Maybe we'll play the first two, What's Yours and Charade.
Oh, great. They're
And,
both great cuts. Yeah.
So let's do that. The Mary Kaye Trio here on Fresh Air Radio on KFAI, 90.3 FM Minneapolis, 106.7 FM in St. Paul, Radio Without Boundaries. My name is David Cummings, my guest Les Block this morning, and we are playing the music of the Mary Kaye Trio from the album Nightlife.
What's yours, baby? What's yours? Champagne fountains, caviar mountains. Where to, sweetie? House Tahiti. Baby, you can have whatever you want as long as you want me nearby, herewith, hereby. What's yours, baby? Music, maybe. Downbeat, no time, always showtime. Baby, you can have whatever you want as long as you want me with you. Laughing, singing, and if you do, all night long we will be clinging. Hey there, girl, watch what you're singing. What's yours, baby? What's yours? Hilltop flowers, rainbow showers, moonlight, mayhem till the AM. Baby, you can have whatever you want until I say, what's yours? What's yours? But make sure that what's yours is me.
What's yours, baby? Champagne, baby. Drive me crazy.
Baby, you can have whatever you want as long as you want me nearby, herewith, hereby. What's yours, baby? Music, maybe. Downbeat, no time, always showtime. Baby, you can have whatever you want as long as you want me with you. Laughing, singing, and if you do, all night long we will be clinging. Hey there, girl, watch what you're singing. What's yours, baby? What's yours? Hilltop flowers, rainbow showers, moonlight, mayhem till the AM. Baby, you can have whatever you want until I say, what's yours? What's yours? But make sure that what's yours will always be all yours, and what's yours will always be me. When we played our charade, we were like children posing, playing at games, acting out names, guessing the parts we played. Oh, what a hit we made. We came on next to closing, best on the bill, lovers until love left the masquerade. Fate seemed to pull the strings. I turned and you were gone. While from the darkened wings the music box played on. Sad little serenade, song of my heart's composing. I hear it still, I always will. I hear the song, charade, 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 charade.
The Mary Kaye Trio with her brother Norman and Frank Ross From the Nightlife album. Started off with What's Yours, and of course that last one, Charade. And we were just talking a little bit about the movie that you were just watching that the other night, Les. You were saying...
Yeah, one of the movies, AMC, I think it was, broadcast Charade
Yeah,
with Audrey Hepburn and
Cary Grant and...
what's it, Cobra?
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Who was that heavyset guy? Remember the one with wore the hook?
Oh, gosh.
He played heavies in many, many
Yeah,
movies.
it escapes me now. But we are playing the music of the Mary Kaye Trio this morning in honor of the people who played. The late Mary Kaye, who just passed away here just this past month. And we were talking also about when we asked people, have you ever heard of the Mary Kaye Trio? And everybody that I asked, maybe that's old enough to have maybe caught them on television or, listened to their records or heard about them. I kind of remember the name piano player, and of course it's vague, I think, in everybody's memory. So we don't get too many people that we're aware of.
I don't think I've ever met anybody in this town except you who, when you mentioned the name Mary Kaye, who has a connection to some, oh yes, the Mary Kaye, oh wow, anything about them, even not that even that they play piano, that which is off, of course, but it's just disappeared.
Well, we're going to go off to that to the Sunset Strip album, to
Live from the Sunset Strip.
Live from the Sunset Strip.
When they had great clubs on the Strip.
Yep.
Ciro's, Macambo's, Crescendo. It was a great nightclub town in those days. Coconut Grove.
Sure. The Brown Derby, I'm sure.
That was
at
a
least for
restaurant.
dinner,
Great spot.
All the greats and near greats hanging out in Los Angeles. This is their version of Begin the Beguine. And this, I think, early on when I was talking to you, Les Block is in the studio with me this morning to talk about the Mary Kaye Trio. And you were, I was thinking, one of your favorites, I guess.
Yeah, I love this one because it gives you a sense of what they were like as an act and how they tore up a room. And I mentioned to you initially when we talked about it that it was a little politically incorrect for today, but this was the 50s, I guess, so maybe late 50s, early 60s. And I think that's the way it was in those days. But it wasn't that bad, as we said, nothing compared to what's going on in the air today. So
exactly. I think that it's a great song. It's a lot of fun listening to this, and you get a chance to hear some of the interaction between the group.
It reminds me of an album, Jonathan and Darlene Edwards. If you remember that album where
Yes.
Joe Stafford and Paul Weston, a married couple, but marvelous musicians, and Joe Stafford, one of the great singers of all time, did a couple of albums in which she sings off key.
Well, I've played them on the program here. Yes,
you got to be good
fun.
to sing off key. Anyway, this Begin the Beguine is very, very funny because Norman is singing off key.
Well, let's get off to the Mary Kaye Trio live on the Sunset Strip, Begin the Beguine, and this is a fun one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to sing a song for you written by that fabulous composer.
No, I'll do an accordion solo if you don't mind, please.
They're not ready for you, Frank.
I've worked these saloons before. I know what these drunks want to hear. Now step aside. Elvis, you with the tank. Why don't you sort of introduce me instead, please? Here we go.
What do you drunks want to hear?
No, Mary, please, I want a little class. But listen, right now, dear, I'd like to do an accordion solo, and I want you to introduce me and really give it a little class, please. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, my brother and I and the entire group like to present our little partner, Frank Ross. Like to feature him now on his accordion as he accompanies my brother on Begin the Beguine. Norman?
I'm yamming.
Now isn't that just sickening now?
Frank, your accordion's open. I never.
Well, I have. You know what I'm saying?
We could start a party tonight.
When they begin.
I also dance.
Had a beautiful dip. You got to get in the water, Norm. It's really warm. And while I was out there mingling...
I noticed you're out there mingling.
I was getting to that. I was out there mingling.
That's what I said.
Yeah, something you want to ask me?
No. Did you hear anything about my singing?
No, it wasn't your singing. It has to do with your singing. It's about... Well, have you seen the new Pontiacs?
What about the new Pontiacs?
The hood ornament's out. You Indians aren't having too big a year. Now, if you're real smart... No, come on. No. Shh, you make him sensitive. But listen, Norm, you got to get a nose job. It's ridiculous. You're in Hollywood. You're big people now. Don't you understand?
I've had 3 nose jobs already.
That's it. You got to take off, not put on.
Oh!
Play around with the Dick Tracy set, but don't use it for work. You understand what I'm talking about now? Now go in there again and give him guts this time. Confidence. Be cocky. Be cocky. Be humble.
What?
You got to have confidence. Just keep going, Norm. Don't worry about a thing.
When they begin, it brings back the sound of music so tender. It brings back the night of tropical splendor. It brings back a memory evergreen. I'm with you once more under the stars, and down by the shore an orchestra's playing.
I can't even find it anymore.
Even the palms
Now that didn't hurt, did it?
seem to be swaying when they begin. They begin. So don't let them begin, make them play, till the stars that were there before.
Tee off, will you?
Four, return above you, till you whisper to me once more, darling, I love you. And we suddenly know what heaven we're in.
That's my brother.
When they begin.
Your father should have killed the whole litter.
I begin. Oh yes, let them begin. Make them play. To catch my new act. Till the stars that were there before return above you.
You're on our side now.
Till you whisper to me once more, darling, I love you.
Sing fast, I'm getting nauseous.
And we suddenly know.
Sing your little heart out, honey.
What heaven we're in when they begin, What are you doing?
Oh, just shopping, I guess.
When they begin,
When you come to Waikiki for Pasta Fazzola, you can watch and eyes the girls shake the hula. You can tease them, you can please them, you can squeeze them. My pleasing, pinch of the hula girls. One of the naughty hips is shake a rock and a roll. And your pizza eyes pop like a pistola. You can squeeze a rosa mia, mamma mia. My pleasure, pinch of the hula girls. In sunny Italy, it is the custom. My here in Waikiki, you get it the Boston. So listen, you guys, don't you get a wiser? It's not a nicer to pinch of the merchandiser. When do they place around your neck a layer carnation? It's the time you tell your wife, hey, take a vacation. Now you fella ring the bell, it's a bell. My pleasure, no pinch of the hula girls. Hey, that's a nice shake, a hoochie coochie shaking. You can tease him, you can please him, you can squeeze him. My pleasure, no pinch of the hula girls. In sunny Italy, it isn't a nice custom. My here in Waikiki, you get it the Boston. So listen, you guys, don't you get a wiser? It's not a nicer to pinch the merchandise. When they place around your neck a layer carnation, it's the time you tell your wife to take a vacation. Now you fella ring the bell, it's a bell. My pleasure, no pinch of the hula girls. Hey, Joe, please no pinch of the hula girls. Hey, that's a nice.
Well, if we get a chance to hear Frank Ross with a little Italian hula.
Please
Hawaiian.
don't squeeze it, the hula girl.
Yeah, yeah. From their Our Hawaii, the Mary Kaye Trio album, out on Columbia from the early 60s. And before that, their...
Cole Porter is turning over. Begin to begin.
Yep, yep. And,
but you can get a sense of the zaniness of that act, and that was my kind of... When I think of Mary Kaye Trio, think of them in a lounge and that kind of thing, where Frank's running around the room and they're doing great stuff, but they're all musically incredibly good.
And well, like we were saying when we were talking earlier about Jonathan and Darlene Edwards with Paul Weston and Joe Stafford. And I'm not a musician, but you are, and I think you know that it's difficult to be bad, but be bad in the right way.
Yeah, but bad in the right way, which means that you can't be off all the time, which is what a bad singer is. You got to do it when people you slip into it, and suddenly you're hearing, what am I hearing? And then it kind of reaches you. And Joe Stafford was a master at that. And if you listen to Paul Weston playing that lounge lizard kind of awful piano, it's just spectacular.
And I played a few things from one of their albums, and I like to play just when Paul Weston's doing it, just the piano, because it starts out and it sounds okay, and then like maybe this guy needs at least another lesson or two, to straighten things out. But,
well, as an old piano bar player, it's kind of sort of like an alma mater.
Sure. Well, I'm joined in the studio this morning with Les Block. We are, and my name is David Cummings. This is Rockin' in Rhythm. This is Fresh Air Radio. We are playing the music of the Mary Kaye Trio in honor of not only the late Mary Kaye, but their music in general. So I've got, let's see. Oh, we're going to do from the Nightlife album, Spring is Here.
Spring is here. Why does my heart go dancing? Spring is here. Why isn't the waltz entrancing? No desire, no ambition leads me. Maybe it's because nobody needs me. Spring is here. Why doesn't the breeze delight me? Stars appear. Why doesn't the night invite me? Maybe it's because nobody loves me. Spring is here, I hear. So they tell me spring is here. Why doesn't the breeze delight me? Stars appear. Why doesn't the night invite me?
my thoughts astray to you. In the still of the night, while the world is in slumber, all the times without number, darling, when I say to you, do you love me as I love you? Are you my life to be, my dream come true? Or will this dream of mine fade out of sight like the moon growing dim on the rim of the hill? The chill still of the night, in the still of the
In the still of the night, and spring is here. Mary Kaye, Norman Kaye, and Frank Ross. And I'm joined with Les Block this morning, and we are playing the music of the Mary Kaye Trio. We also don't want to forget to mention, Dean called up a little while ago to remind us about Norman being the poet laureate of Nevada.
Yes, Norman was, I don't know if he still is, but for a number of years he had been named the poet laureate of Nevada. Mm-hmm. And another thing that I found out about him, and I read this also, and Norman was telling me about it, is that at one time, and he was the largest real estate developer and broker in the state of Nevada.
That says something there. I think, given the growth rate of just Las Vegas alone, I think is.
And Frank Ross became a very successful personal manager of entertainers. So he when he left the trio, when the trio broke up, Norman focused on his real estate and insurance holdings, and Frank Ross was on his management. And Mary went on to do subsequent trios until the, I guess, the 70s or so.
And maybe you could talk a little bit about her family, that she has children that...
Well, she has several children. The one I've been talking to is Donna, who lives in Las Vegas. And she's a lovely young woman, and she has, I think, a son who J.K. plays guitar, rock and roll. You've seen some of his, I think, he's got a website,
on the website,
and I know very little about him. He writes songs.
But we want to go to Mary Kaye on the Decca label, Mad About the Boy. And
great song by Noel Coward.
Mad about the boy. I know it's crazy to be mad about the boy. I'm so ashamed of it, but must admit the sleepless nights I've had about the boy. On the silver screen, he melts my foolish heart in every single scene. Although I'm quite aware that here and there are traces of the cat about that boy. Lord knows I'm not a fool, girl, I really shouldn't care. Lord knows I'm not a schoolgirl in the fury of my first affair. Will it ever cloy this odd diversity of misery and joy? I'm feeling quite insane and young again, and all because I'm mad about the boy.
Listen to me, sister, don't let him know what's on your mind. Once he knows he holds the upper hand, everything won't be so fine. Be blasé.
How blasé can I be?
Be blasé.
I'm not a wooden tree. I don't have sap running through my limbs that hang to hold him tight. And the magazines I read in bed don't fill my appetite.
Be
Be blasé.
This must be April Fool.
Be blasé.
How can you be so cruel when I'm so mad about the boy? I know it's crazy to be mad about the boy. I'm so ashamed of it, but must admit the sleepless nights I've had about that boy.
Lord knows she's not a fool, girl.
I really shouldn't care.
Lord knows she's not a school girl.
In the fury of my first affair, will it ever cloy? This our diversity of misery and joy. I'm feeling quite insane, young again, and all because I'm mad about the boy.
Mad about the boy. You were saying about Noel Coward, and there was a connection that.
Yeah, well, Noel Coward was a big fan of the trio and Mary Kaye, and as you can imagine, this trio was playing into the wee small hours of the morning, and the main rooms would close at about 1 o'clock, midnight to 1 o'clock. So these entertainers would be just waking up, and they'd look for places to go, and they ended up in the lounge, which is why so many entertainers got to know the trio and fell in love with their act. And Norman was telling me that one evening after Mary Kaye did Mad About the Boy, Noel Coward had been in the audience and came up to her and said, yours is my favorite rendition of that song I've ever heard. I love the way you do that song better than anybody else has ever done it.
Wow, that's a special deal, that's for sure. We were going to go back to the Live on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah, my favorite album. I think Mary's favorite album which shows them off as their comedic best.
And this one we got queued up is what's?
I think How Did He Look?
How Did He Look? That's
yeah, again politically incorrect a little bit. But it's I've always loved this one. In fact, I was mentioning to David that I've used this in my own act now with Heidi Zeman, my singer. So.
Well, just picture yourself, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's on the Sunset Strip with the Mary Kaye Trio.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to just tell you first that we're very happy to be back in the business again. We had a sort of a brief interlude where Mary increased her Hawaiian tribe. And, oh yes, another thing has happened since we were off. They became one of us, which is something I really don't wish to acknowledge, but it means very little to me, really. And,
My sister and I are very happy to be part of the 50th state.
Yes. And you will watch the parade tomorrow. We'll have some real jollies. And the thing, but we'd like to do a tune. Oh, yes, the parade tomorrow. You folks want to go down and watch a real crazy parade. If you can just visualize this. Pineapples walking down the street with little flags in their navels. I mean, this would be a real wild party, won't it? But it's a thing we're trying to give them courage and make them feel like they belong. Ready?
How did he look? Did he seem happy?
You're on.
While they were dancing, did he whisper
About your breath.
things in her ear?
Why be half safe?
And did he light a cigarette?
Hi, Ray.
Hi, Frank.
Should get a nice sandbox back here.
Yes, it isn't much.
No.
I like it.
Can I pump the piano?
Yeah, would you like to?
Come here.
Was he attentive
Nothing throws you.
the way you used to be?
So easy for her to get her jollies these days, you know?
With me, what was she like?
Sort of dumpy.
Was she attractive?
If you dig Barracuda.
Was there a smile upon his face?
Well, I didn't see the body, but they say he sure died happy. Oh, well.
Or did he see more? Not that I really care. I know our love affair can never be. But how did he look? And did he ask about?
Who the hell knows who she is? She's obnoxious, is all I can tell you.
I can hear you. I heard he just got back from New York. I guess he's been too busy to call.
Well, they had him on Queen for a day, and they just held him over and over, silly. Ridiculous. She just breaks herself up. Look at this. Almost caught us.
Look, not that I really care. What are you doing?
Huh? You forgot your place, right?
Right.
You don't know the words there, right?
Right.
All right. Stuff her.
Look, not that I really care. I know our love affair can never be.
Fake it.
But how did he look? And did he ask about me?
Thank you very much, Mayor. There's no doubt in our minds as who the winner is tonight, and here's your cup.
Live on the Sunset Strip, Mary Kaye Trio. So you're saying, Les, that things are going on all the time on the stage, and is Frank roaming around and
Yeah, he's roaming around the stage. He's roaming around the audience, and they're doing stuff. He's trying to throw her off all the time.
Sure.
She loses her place, and then they take it and make something with it. It was a lot of ad-libbing going on, and they had worked so long together that it just worked perfectly. And sometimes that one would have been better off seeing them than hearing it on the air, but because there were little periods of silence when he was doing his little shtick stuff. But again, a little politically incorrect. That was certainly, we wouldn't be doing that today too much, or recording that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I want to do a couple more things off of that Our Hawaii album.
Lovely.
Beyond the Reef.
Oh, what a great song.
Beyond the reef, where the sea is dark and cold, my love has gone,
And our dreams grow old.
there'll be no tears, there'll be no regretting. Will my love remember me, or will she forget? I'll send 1,000 flowers where the trade winds blow. I'll send my lonely heart, for I love her so. And yet someday I know she'll come back again to me. But till then, my heart will be beyond the reef. I'll send my lonely heart
thinking of that of this song, Beyond the Reef, I'm going to start poking around. I still want to find that soundtrack to Boy and the Dolphin.
Oh, yeah. Mary Kaye did the song Boy on a Dolphin, which is one of the most beautiful melodies, beautiful songs.
There's a tale that they tell of a dolphin and a boy made of gold, with the shells and the pearls in the deep. He has lain many years fast asleep. What they tell of the boy on a dolphin, who can say if it's true? Should he rise from the depths of the ocean, any wish that you wish will come true. You say he's only a statue, and what can a statue achieve? And yet, while I'm gazing at you, my heart tells my head to believe. If the boy whom the gods have enchanted should arise from the sea, and the wish of my heart could be granted, I would wish that you loved only me.
Boy and a Dolphin with Sophia Loren and Alan Ladd.
Yeah, Clifton Webb.
Clifton Webb.
Played the evil guy.
Well, you know, time has gone by way too fast, and
it seemed, very fast. This has been a fast hour, an hour and a half almost.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So thank you very much
thank you for having me, and I just want to say hi to Norman and Donna out there in Las Vegas, who will be listening at some point to the show on the archives. It's probably a little. It's 5:30 to 7. Right now it's 7 a.m. in Las Vegas, so I doubt if they're up now, but they will be, and they were looking forward to hearing this, and they thank you a lot for thinking of them and doing the show.
It's been my pleasure. It's been an education for me, and I think we've had some nice calls from listeners who have enjoyed it as well. We're going to go on out with the Aloha from and so for now, Aloha, written by Norman.
Yeah.
So this is
he wrote a lot of songs.
Yeah, well,
a lot of lyrics too. As poet laureate of
course,
Nevada.
Of course, what else?
I expect that.
Well, thank you, Les. Thank you very much, and my thoughts go out to the family as well. So.
And so for now, aloha with my love to you. Tears fill my eyes with its sadness. We'll meet again with its gladness, with its gladness. And so for now, aloha with my love to you.
has come